Hello everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video on some basics for TradingView. There may be a few people who either are just switching over or this may be their first charting platform and just wanted to give a quick rundown for some basics that might help. So first things first, I want to mention that the pro version is not needed. Please do not get looped into thinking that you must pay for it in order to be a good charter. I fairly recently bought the pro version and it was to help create content with the replay function and I just wanted more alerts more than anything. So the key differences are kind of listed here. You can typically get a discount if you wait for certain sales, which I highly recommend. My Linktree does have a referral code, so if you do it, I believe you get some sort of money off. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I would definitely wait for like a Black Friday sale or like end of the year kind of sale and just pay annually. It's typically a little bit cheaper. So yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I used the TradingView desktop app here for the video. It's just a little bit cleaner to look at. You can also use the web version, and it's totally the same thing. Everything, all the trend lines that you draw here get carried over on the web version as well as on the mobile app. So it's great. So the first thing I recommend you getting is the volume indicator here. So the key is you want to use it from the technicals so that it does not count as one of your limited indicators. So if you click the volume from this technical side, it won't count as an indicator. Um, to favorite it, you can just go ahead and click this. I would definitely favorite your indicators, and I'll show you a little bit later why. So go ahead and pop that. So this is how it comes up. This is basically just like the volume for every single candle. Um, a suggestion that I use is if you right click it and hit the settings, you can add a volume moving average, and I typically like to do a different color so I can see it. Press OK. So this line, essentially what it does is it's like a moving average, right? So everything above this is above the average, anything below this is lower than the average. Over on the left hand side here, what you have are all the tools that you can use to draw on TradingView. So the key functions are going to be the trend line, the arrow, you could do info lines. Um, this has basically all more than just like the drawing stuff. It's got like the fibs, the pitchfork. This is kind of shapes if you're trying to do like cup and handles. It's really cool. This is like all the tech stuff. I would definitely spend some time and maybe go through it. Um, but ideally, what you want to do is favorite the ones that you'd like to use. So I personally use the trend line and the arrow the most. And the key is like if you just hit this favorite button, it pops them out right here. So it's nice and easy to figure out what it is. When I'm making a trend line, something that's nice is if you hold a shift key, it'll snap to like a certain degree. So obviously this is the horizontal, right? And this is kind of ideally what you'd be using. You could use the vertical one too for certain cases, I guess, but typically you want to use the horizontal for the trend lines. And then when you're making like the diagonal trend lines, you kind of don't want it to snap. So it's that shift key. What I personally do is I set every trend line with a specific color so that when I'm shuffling through the charts on my watch list, I know exactly what the trend line represents. So what I mean by that is all the trend lines will be in purple. Any sort of stop loss or resistances I'll do in red. Price targets for me are yellow. And in order for you to favorite it, you can just go ahead and just pick a color like that and hit add, and then it saves. So it's really nice and easy. If you just click it, this window pops up and you just change the color. You could change the thickness here, the type of lines. To set an alert, what you're going to do is you're going to hit this right. You're going to just single click this and then hit this arrow, and then this is like an alert section here. You can name the alert. You can write a message so when it does cross over, it pops this up. And the cool thing is, if you have the mobile version, also get a notification on your phone. It also pops up here. It's cross-platform, so it's not like something like Discord where if you have it on your desktop, it doesn't ping you on your phone. It's one of the beauties of TradingView that I personally like. I'm sure there's a way you could turn it off, but it's been super helpful for my case. To change the time frames, you're going to go ahead and click here, and you can just shuffle through and pick whatever you want. You can also type in the number and it automatically shifts to that, and you just go ahead and hit enter. So 15, hit enter. To change these candles here, what you can do is just click this, and then you can do hollow, you can do that, um, or whatever whatever type of candles your preference. You can do like a step line. It's just by preference. I personally just like the candles. You can right click and then change the colors and settings as well, depending on kind of what your appearance is like. So if you're new, you probably don't have a black background here. It's probably white. Um, I personally have it as dark mode. What you can do is just go to your color theme here from your icon, and then choose what your preference is. I personally just like the dark mode. I think it snaps a little better. And then for indicators, all your indicators you can just search up. So if I'm looking up like support and resistance, um, they have these community scripts, and it tells you how many people have you or are using them or have used them, I believe. And you can just scroll down and then choose which one you'd like. Now, the key is if you're on the free version, you only get 3 of it, right? So um, you could toggle them on and off here like this. But the best thing I would suggest is if you only have the free versions, what you can do is just if you could remove one and then turn on a different one. And then because it's favorited, you just X out and then you just re-click it on. And that way you can kind of toggle between indicators. I do have the pro version, so I can get 5. So it says 5, but the volume, but I believe I can add another one. So I'll do RSI, and it's technically 6 because so this is 5 right here, and then this is the 6th one. But like I said, if you do the volume one, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, then it won't count as one of your indicators. Now, if you don't want to show your drawings or your indicators, there's like a cool feature right here where it's hide drawings, hide indicators, or just hide all overall. So um, it's a cool function because sometimes like if I had everything on there, you see how messy it gets. So you can toggle individually off this way, or you can just hit that button and everything kind of goes away. So when you're zooming in through different stocks, there'll be times where you have to shuffle through like this scaling function here. There is an auto function here where it automatically snaps to it, so it kind of scales. But you can use your cursor and just click and drag to make it bigger or smaller. You can zoom in and out with your wheel scroll to go that way, and then just bring it back down like that. That one's pretty quick and easy. To add stocks to your watch list, so this function right here, it's this guy right here. It's your watch list function. So if you hit this add symbol button, you can add whatever you want. So like say you're trying to add Snap. You click it and it toggles to the bottom. It's pretty self-explanatory. You can just drag up and down, and to take it to remove it from your watch list, you just hit this X button. Now, say you want to just toggle to a stock without adding it to your watch list, right? So what you can do is you can, as long as your cursor is somewhere on here, you can literally just type snap and hit enter, and the chart will change. Um, this is a watermark that I added. Um, this isn't something that you really need. I just have it on there because when I'm toggling between the time frames, I sometimes forget, so I just left it on there. Plus, when I'm posting charts that way, if it's too small to see up here, then people can see it there. But that's not something that is really needed. Um, this is just the X function as well. If you want to look at 1 day, if you look at 5 days, 1 month, it's just like a quick snap kind of thing. But typically, I use the 5 and 15 minutes. So this is kind of my wheelhouse right here. TradingView does have multiple functions on the right side here. A lot of it is pretty useful. This is your alert window. So say you created an alert this way and you just hit create, it should pop up right here. And as long as it's active, it means it hasn't passed yet. Now, with the basic version, I believe you only get one. So for you to remove it, you can either click this and hit delete, and it'll say, do you want to confirm to delete this? And you go ahead and say yes. Or what you can do is from this window right here, you can go ahead and hit the X button right there to delete. And that's going to be super useful for the basic version of TradingView because you can only have one alert at a time, and it makes you delete it before you can create another one. Unfortunately, it doesn't override it, so it doesn't cancel the old one without you manually deleting it. Typically don't really use this data volume, this data window too much, just because I have my indicators. This is cool. You can toggle between the volume gainers, percent gainers based off of the day. I use this quite a bit, especially recently with so much data coming out. So we had unemployment numbers come out. We have um, PPI next week and unemployment rate the following week, and it's a nice little indicator of kind of what's coming up on the calendar list. Um, this is my ideas. Don't worry about that. So this is mines. What this is basically like if you're toggling between, it could be any. Let's do Apple, for example. So this will give you like a list of potential people that are on TradingView. I don't follow any of these guys. I don't believe they just post. It's everything related to Apple from the TradingView community. There's also chats, idea streams. I typically don't use much of this. I typically just use the watch list, the alert function, and then the calendar. Now, if a stock's rising, all of a sudden there's probably news. And to check the news, you can click on any stock and click, like there's a little blurb right here and then purple, go ahead and click that. And it's basically the recent kind of news related to that stock. It does get delayed quite a bit. So just be careful. Sometimes you're better off taking a look at like someplace else for the news. But something cool that I realized, it also tells you when the earnings are. So this is 86 days away, 80 days away. They just reported, right? So like Target has earnings coming up in 10 days. It's just good to know. And the closer it gets, it starts becoming red. So that way it lets you know that, it's a good indicator because options will be juiced and you typically don't want to play options when they're juiced, right? It's easy to get burned on. If you are someone that likes to read the financials, if you click on this E, it stands for earnings. And if you click on that, they basically have an overview, statement, statistics, dividends, earnings, revenue, and everything that you ever need to know is right here. If you wanted to take a photo or share your chart, there's a nice camera icon here. The quality is much better. And what you want to do is you can just copy image or copy the link depending on how you want to do it. And you just go ahead and paste it onto wherever you want. And the quality is much better than you trying to screenshot this. I think that's like a cool feature. Now, if you have the desktop version or if you're using the desktop version, there's also this stock heat map. It basically shows the green and the red for the major tickers for that category. It's just like a cool little glance. You can filter it as you'd like. They do have plenty of other options. They have a screener, they have community. Um, I'll probably discuss that a little bit later down the line, but this is kind of just like the very beginner kind of rundown of how to add indicators, the tools that you'd never need, what the watch list is, and how to add stuff or how to add stocks. But yeah, I wanted to keep this video kind of small, but I'll make a more advanced one, maybe depending on the comments and stuff that I receive based off of this. I think that just about does it for this video. If you've liked it so far, go ahead and drop a like, comment, or subscribe. And thanks for watching.